What's up, Warrior fans? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Warrior Rewind. I'm Natalie Winters.
And I'm Daniel Malkismo. This week we got some nail-biter games, exclusive interviews, and fantastic finishes.
Men's soccer held their first regular season home game last Thursday night. The Warriors faced off against Northwest Nazarene from Idaho, but could not compete offensively. The visiting team scored twice on goalkeeper Clint Long and walked away with a 2-0 victory. But the men's team redeemed themselves on Saturday night when they faced Notre Dame de Namur. While Brady Taylor set up the shot for Manny Villegas in the 71st minute, who knocked the ball in off a defender. Let's hear from Manny about the goal.
Everything just went kind of slow. I just remember the ball going up, and then our forward, how he's big and strong, Hoser, he went and out-bodied the goalie, and it just bounced there, and I kind of just knocked it in. Everything just went by too slow, but very happy.
It was definitely pretty intense. Well, the Warriors went on to shut out the Argonauts 1-0, and they will travel up north to face Simpson University on Tuesday.
The cross-country team traveled to Fairbanks, Alaska to compete last Saturday. And we're going to let Ewell tell you how they did. Ewell?
As they said, the cross-country team was in Alaska for the University of Alaska Fairbanks Invitational. The three-way meet was dominated by Cal State Stanislaus. For the men, Alex Villasqueza won the 8K run in 26 minutes, 3.1 seconds, while all five scoring Warriors came in the top six. Jesus Ortiz came in 12.2 seconds behind Villasqueza for second place, while Michael Magrudic, David Rosalas, and Abraham Alvarado came in 4th through 6th. For the women, Alexa Lua was the top Warrior and second overall and led the Stanislaus women to a second place finish. 5 scoring Warrior women placed in the top 10. Alexa Lua clocked in at 23 minutes, 18.9 seconds in her first 6K race. The Warriors will head to the Stanford Invitational for their next race on September 27th. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ewell. It was a pretty good day for the Alexes, with Alex and Alexa both ranking high for Stanislaus out there in Alaska. Also traveling for sports, the volleyball team headed up to Washington for the Hampton Inn Wildcat Invitational. Unfortunately, it wasn't a good trip for the team as they dropped all 4 matches in Washington. But it wasn't all bad as the sophomore Blair Ehrlich picked up 39 kills in the 4 matches, while Sarah Crowell had 31 digs, while other players like Lindsay Scandalan came away with 22 kills and Hannah Green walked away with 50 assists. Volleyball kicks off their CCAA season play on the road against UC San Diego on Friday and Cal Poly Pomona on Saturday.
As expected, the women's soccer team came back hot. They started their regular season on the road facing Cal Baptist University in Riverside, where they took the win in double overtime. Sophomore Michaela Clifford scored twice to tie the game each time Baptist took the lead. But it was starting freshman Jade Poon that scored the goal in overtime and gave the Warriors the win. Remember that name because Jade Poon came back on Saturday against Azusa Pacific and scored another goal 14 seconds into the match. In the second half, Kristen Coleman scored an insurance goal and the Warriors went undefeated on their road trip, shutting out Azusa Pacific 2-0. The women's soccer team had their first home game on Monday at noon. Despite Central Washington scoring first, the Warriors came back to outshoot Washington 19-7 and won with the final score of 6-1. Leah Guerrero had a chance to catch up with freshman Jade Poon after the game.
Hey Warriors, it's been another great game for CSU Stanislaus and women's soccer. Jade here scored 3 goals out of 6 against Central Washington. Last time you guys played them, it was a 0-0 tie. How do you feel walking off with 3 goals?
Oh gosh, it feels great, like really good. Coming in as a freshman, it's always like, oh gosh, a little freshman on the field, but it feels really good walking off with 3 goals. Like I feel like pretty confident, but I still have a lot to improve on, and I'm looking forward to it.
From the stands, I'm hearing flawless shot, beautiful shot, filling big shoes. How do you tune it all out and shut it off when you're in the middle of a PK?
Oh yeah, I don't know, I kind of just concentrated on what I was doing. It's really hard, all the noise coming out, but you just got to really focus on what you want. Like I was focusing on the spot I was going to kick in and big picture, but I wanted it, so.
Was there any reason you put it in on the right?
Ever since I was little, I just always shoot right, so that's how I'm comfortable.
Hopefully no one heard that from any of the other teams.
No. Take that back.
All right. Well, good job today.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to seeing you the rest of the season.
Thanks.
All right. Bye, Warriors. See you next time.
Thank you, Leah. Jade Poon is definitely a name you will be hearing quite often as we're only 3 games into the season and Jade has 5 goals as a freshman already.
Yeah, she's a freshman phenom, Natalie. She is very impressive on that field. She even showed up to one of the games 24 minutes late from class and still ended up with a field goal. She's like a microwave. She just gets hot quick. She heats up.
Yeah, definitely respectable. Coming into a game late because of class and still having your mind in the right spot, it's pretty impressive. So.
I want to read what she's reading. You know what I mean?
All right, Warrior fans. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this week's episode of Warrior Rewind. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Stay awesome, Warrior fans.